If you're aiming to improve the comfort and durability of your home, you can't overlook the basement. Now the ceiling height down here is a little too low for us to make a code-approved living space, but that doesn't mean that we can't make it dry, airtight, and warm. And those are the three areas we're going to focus on. Now, the order of those three phases is crucial. If you don't deal with the water first, then anything that comes after it is a waste of time. Somebody has already started this job, it looks like years ago, so really, we've got some of the work done for us already. Let's start with a quick walkthrough of the space, see what systems are in place, and what we need to add to take this job the rest of the way. Now, as you can see here, somebody already put in an interior perimeter drain. Now, the idea behind this is that the concrete is broken out along the perimeter of the basement and a perforated pipe is installed. That way, water that comes up from under the slab or through the bottom of the wall can be collected and run around and into a sump pump. The sump pit is located in the lowest spot of the basement, and all those pipes that run around the perimeter lead back to here. You can see where it comes into the basin, and when the water level gets high enough, it'll kick on this pump and eject the water through this pipe up and out of the house. Well, as you can see, we have waterproofing paint on the walls and on the slab, and though I don't recommend that as your first line of defense, it can be a helpful strategy in combination with other systems. So we're going to go ahead and finish painting this spot, which clearly got skipped because something didn't get moved, and while we're at it, we're going to patch this hole and look for any other cracks because these are weak spots where water can come up through the slab. Premixed concrete patching compound is a great solution for small holes and depressions in the surface of the slab. It's available in small, premixed containers, making it a neater and more convenient alternative to bag mix concrete. And it's easy to manipulate and flatten with a margin trowel. For areas of the wall or slab that will be left exposed, a liberal coat of heavy-bodied waterproofing paint, such as Drylock, can be brushed, rolled, or sprayed onto the masonry. For cracks in the slab, look for a self-leveling sealant, which will do a better job of seeping into cracks that would be hard to fill with a cement product. Specially formulated to level out, the sealant can be run along the floor and left to settle on its own without tooling. For non-structural cracks in the wall, prepare the area by removing loose debris and cleaning the surface with a wire brush to ensure good adhesion. To fill the crack, choose a polyurethane sealant that's designed to be sag resistant, so it will stay put right where you apply it. For large cracks or holes in the wall, choose hydraulic cement. Packaged as a dry mix that's combined with water, hydraulic cement is very tacky and it sets up in just a few minutes, so mix it in small batches. After working to a putty-like consistency, it can be packed into place with a gloved hand, even if the hole is actively leaking water. Now, it's not uncommon for a basement to have a doorway that leads to another section, let's say a crawl space with an addition above, or in this case, cold storage. We need to treat this area just like the rest of the basement in terms of waterproofing because there's living space above. This closet area doesn't have its own perimeter drain like the rest of the basement, but it does have a small pipe that connects to the footing drain on this side of this little curb right here. And this will work because the floor in here is higher than the floor in the rest of the basement. So if water does come up through the slab, it will be collected and funneled to that sump pump. Here's the problem. Water needs to already be up through the slab before it's going to go down this pipe. So if we want to use this area for storage, we're going to need to do a little extra work to make sure that everything's protected from that water. To create a vapor barrier along the floor of a slab, use a dimpled plastic membrane that can be cut, taped along its seams, and extended a foot or more up the wall for added protection. To create a walking surface over the dimpled membrane, add 3/4 inch thick, moisture-resistant subfloor sheathing. The sheathing can be left floating over the membrane with glue at the tongue and groove seams, or it can be tacked straight through to the slab below using a couple of fasteners to keep it from shifting. To pin the membrane into place, drill holes in the masonry along the top edge of the plastic where it laps onto the wall. Then, drive masonry screws to secure the plastic anchors. Well, as you can see, we're only running this dimpled membrane a few inches past the floor. And that's because the only part of this room that we're worried about is the floor. If we had water problems on the walls, we would have run the membrane all the way up. Well, obviously we're going to have to do a little work here because can't leave this. Driving rain or snow could come in through here, so we'll break the rest of this out and replace that piece of glass. To remove the broken pane of glass, use a heat gun to soften the old glazing putty and scrape it away. Then, remove the glazing points that held the glass in place and pull out the broken pieces. Lay down a thin rope of new glazing putty to bed the new pane of glass. Then set and secure the pane with new glazing points. To finish the job, apply glazing putty between the window muntins and the glass, tooling the putty to a pitched angle that will help shed water. With the window back in place, that takes care of the water issues. Next up, we'll focus on controlling air.